than this. A building site in Wuhan that authorities say will be a 1,000-bed facility for coronavirus patients by next Monday. The number of cases in China jumped today, not necessarily because the outbreak is getting worse, but because of the time it takes for tests to be carried out and the fact it can take many days for infected people to start showing symptoms.
The longer the incubation period, the harder it is to actually pick up individuals who are affected and stopping those routes of transmission. You're not going to pick up if they have a temperature when they arrive in a country. It's only going to manifest a few days later or a week later, and so it makes it harder to actually pick up individuals who are ill, and so you're requiring on them to then to self-report.
The new strain of coronavirus first appeared in Wuhan, which was locked down on Thursday. This evening, that measure was extended to at least 12 other cities across Hubei province, home to 36 million people. There are around 800 confirmed patients across China, with cases also appearing in Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, and the United States. Today, tests carried out here by Public Health England have all come back negative for the 14 people in the UK screened for the virus so far. But already they're testing more.
We think that there's a fair chance we may get some cases over time. Of course, this depends on whether this continues for a long time or whether this turns out to be something which is brought under control relatively quickly by the considerable efforts of the Chinese government. But I think we should definitely see this as a marathon, not a sprint.
There was an event marking Chinese New Year in Downing Street today. Travel ties with China will, of course, be the main route for the virus coming into Britain. But China says it's doing all it can to prevent spread.
The Chinese government is very much determined to curb this virus. President Xi already has ordered to take lots of measures to get control of it.
We don't yet know whether China acted fast enough to contain the worst of the outbreak, but with the world now on high alert, there's hope new cases might be caught before they spread too far.
We now come to the ministerial statement, Secretary of State for Health and Social Care. Secretary of State.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With permission, I'd like to inform the House about the outbreak of a new coronavirus in China and the UK's response to protect the British public. As of this morning, there have been 571 cases confirmed by the Chinese government, and 17 people are reported to have died of this new strain of respiratory illness. All the fatalities have so far been contained to mainland China. However, this is a rapidly
Thank you for listening to The Leader. We bring you the Evening Standard's news analysis and commentary every day at 4 p.m. You can subscribe through your podcast provider, and please do share the show with your friends. Now, from the Evening Standard in London, this is The Leader.
Evening Standard, it's your Evening Standard.
Hi, I'm David Marsland. Locking down doors and shutting up shop. How fear is following the coronavirus spread in China.
Toyota shut down several of its plants there. We've seen Starbucks close 2,000 of its 4,000 shops over there. McDonald's and KFC also closing stores.
The Evening Standard's Alex Lawson speaks to The Leader as the UK prepares to fly its citizens out of Wuhan and straight into quarantine. Also,
when Boris Johnson became Prime Minister, I guess we all thought that the special relationship between Britain and the US would be improved through his friendship with Donald Trump. But it hasn't necessarily worked out that way.
US correspondent David Gardner on tension between the White House and Downing Street with America's Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in London. And
Pistols, The Clash, the Buzzcocks, the Jam, the Stranglers, they all played there. It just has a reputation for being a great place to see music.
protecting grassroots music, arts correspondent Robert Dex hails special status being given to the iconic 100 Club in London. Taken from the Evening Standard's editorial column, this is The Leader. For the whole thing, pick up the newspaper or head to standard.co.uk/comment. In a moment, the devastating effect of a deadly virus. Inside Wuhan, barricades go up in a city being locked down. With the streets empty, it's being compared to a ghost town. But the 11 million people who live there are refusing to be cowed by coronavirus. Come on, Wuhan, they shouted from the windows of the homes many are all but confined to. Their defiance is a powerful message to the world, and our editorial column says we must all hear it.
What should the response be? Alarm is natural. Panic can be avoided if the world works together. Already there are good signs. The World Health Organization is taking the lead. Work has begun in several places on a vaccine. It has a very good chance of being effective. Although even if it is ready for testing by the summer, it would not be set for widespread use until next winter. Through cooperation and openness, the coronavirus can be managed. But, as often happens with flu, the bad news is that things will get worse before they get better.
Well, the UK government's to begin flying home citizens from Wuhan, but they'll be kept isolated for 2 weeks, possibly in a military barracks. But if you're a civilian in the rest of mainland China...
Hi, do you have any vegan options at all?
Vegan? Yeah, I've got spicy onion burgers with bean relish, got tofu burgers, nut dogs, chickpea nuggets, meatless meatballs.